Last week I sent what was probably the hardest dyno problem I've ever done. Check it out. I like this boulder so much that I actually went out of my way to set up a cool slow-mo shot because I wanted that like IFSC high quality pro, like when they're reaching they're like they don't do that, but they like go all slow and they look cool and you can see all their muscles flex. Unfortunately, as with all times I try to do something cool, I did something to ruin it. I didn't realize I was making this stupid face. But overall, it's still a pretty cool shot. You know, I can just put like Tomoe Narasaki's face over mine and then we're good. For those of you that watched my last video, you'll know that this boulder was actually part of a comp I did and I wasn't able to get this one at the comp. So it was really cool getting to do it later. Now, some of you are probably watching like, that's the hardest dyno problem you've ever done? That's not that hard. Well, that's exactly why I didn't put the grade of the boulder in the video. I want you guys to go in the comments and guess what grade you think this boulder is. Don't worry about like being a dick and sandbagging it, and not that anyone ever does, but I don't really mind. You know, I'm not a pro climber or anything. I really could care less what grade it actually is or what grade people think it is. That being said, if you guys are all in the comments saying it's like a V0 or something, that'll be kind of annoying, but you know, you got to roll with the punches. I also had a really good business idea. This is kind of a random tangent, but I was thinking it would be cool to open a gym called My Gym, and all the boulders are just V0. So that way when people say this would be a V0 in my gym, it would be 100% accurate. Everything would be a V0 in my gym. I don't know how much money it would make, but it would be pretty cool. So I also thought it would be cool for this video to go through the men's and women's finals problems and try them out myself to see how hard they were. So I decided to go in order, and the first boulder I tried was women's 1. For those of you that are curious, this one was graded V6. So obviously the next boulder I went on to do was women's 2, which was a really physical and technical blend boulder. It wasn't the most physical or the most technical, but it was definitely like a strong mix of the two. This one was graded V7, I think. I'm like 8 inches taller than the tallest female climber that was in the finals that day. So obviously these boulders are not set for me. Well, on this boulder, it definitely benefited me a lot because the first sequence was extremely difficult and physical, and I was just able to skip pretty much all of it. I think I skipped like a combined either 3 or 4 moves and just reached all the way out. only have this one attempt on film, but this actually took me like 2 sessions to flush out, so it's not like I hopped on this one and flashed it. Now you might have noticed by now that my boxers are sticking out a little bit in these clips. I've told myself multiple times, don't wear boxers in athletic gear. It looks ridiculous and it's extremely uncomfortable. I hate boxers. I love boxer briefs, but I still own boxers, so I always end up wanting to wear them when I work out and stuff so that I can just put them on really quick, get them dirty, and throw them in the laundry, and that way I can save my boxer briefs for like day-to-day life. I don't know why this is something I even have to talk about or complain about, because I could just buy new underwear. That would probably be the easiest solution to this. But anyway, you'll get to see plenty of my boxers in this video because they were sticking out like a parachute stuffed into my pants. So women's 3 ended up being harder than the first 2 for me, even though I think it was actually supposed to be easier. It's another V7, but I really struggled with this one. This is one of those ones that on camera, I know you're probably like, that looks super easy and chill, but it's actually a lot harder than it looks. I thought the same thing when I was watching the comp. I was like, I'd probably flash that. Like, that doesn't look bad at all. It's a lot harder than it looks. So after struggling on this boulder for like 2 sessions, I finally on my 3rd session figured out how to do it and was able to send it. You can see the crux move here is where I really was struggling to get anything done. But eventually I was able to stick it and get the whole thing done. Although I don't know if I really count this as a full send because I'm pretty sure my boxers were generating lift with all the air resistance they were giving me and taking a few extra pounds off. So women's 4 was the final boulder problem, and without a doubt the hardest. I think this one's actually only graded V7 plus. It might be a V8, but it was extremely difficult. This was by far the most physical boulder, and the only one I wasn't able to send. So now we move on to the men's boulders. Now, as I said before, I didn't qualify for the finals. I wasn't even close to qualifying for the finals. So I think it goes without saying that these boulders are a little hard for me. So men's 1 was a V7 slab problem. And even that, I was unable to really do anything on. So what they want you to do is hang on the sloper and transition over with your feet to get it on the foothold. And the foothold is a dual text foothold that's facing that way. So when you're coming over to it, you have to hook your foot over it, meaning you have to be able to pull pretty hard on that sloper. Not only can I not do that, I can't even hang on the sloper in the first place. So this one was just kind of done for me. Like, there's really no way I was going to be able to do it. Men's 2, I don't really even need to describe what was hard about it. It's a V11 plus. So if that doesn't tell you why I wasn't able to do it, then I don't know what will. I actually got a lot of moves done on this and can do most of the moves, but the crux moves, which are the most important moves on the boulder, I can't do. Men's 3 is probably the only boulder that I actually have a decent chance of sending. I'll still work on it. I'll post like a short or something if I end up getting it. Really the issue with this one is a move where you have to hang on a crimp with 2 hands and transition over, and the crimp gets better and better as it meets in the middle, but they have a blocker hold, so you have to use the outsides where it's really bad. Now, somebody at the gym was trying to make me feel better and was telling me that it's because my fingers are so big that I can't get very far in, whereas some people with smaller fingers can go all the way to the center because the blocker hold leaves a little bit of room. I get it a little bit, but A, my fingers aren't that big for a climber, they're pretty average, and B, that's just not really a good excuse for not being able to send it. Plenty of pro climbers have massive fingers, they never use that excuse. So the last boulder is men's 4, which is a V10 overhang boulder problem. But really the main issue with this boulder for me is that it requires you to hang on a 2-finger pocket to transition over to another 2-finger pocket. This was pretty much a one and done for me because I can't one-arm hang on a 2-finger pocket no matter how good it is. Like, I'm just not there yet, so there's really just no way for me to do it unless I just got a really lucky jump and managed to catch the other one. But even then, I'd still have to send the rest of the boulder, which I don't think gets any easier. I really wanted to do a comparison side by side of the finalists who sent the boulders and then me trying the boulders, but you know, I don't want to film people without their consent at the comp and then upload it to YouTube. And then I also don't really want to go up and ask people because it's not like I'm a big YouTuber who can pull that off. I have like 480 subs. I don't think they're really gonna give a shit about my channel. All in all, I was pretty happy with my performance. I sent 3 out of the 4 women's final boulders and got the bonus on one of them. I would have liked to have done a bit more on the men's. I didn't get a single bonus hold even, but you know, that gives me something to look forward to in the future and something to work towards. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you thought maybe you saw some beta I could use, that would be really nice because then I can impress everybody with some new fancy beta, or really anything else you want to say, like V0 in my gym.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out